Okay guys, so here I am. I'm gonna make a potassium, form potassium nitrate. I'm gonna make nitric acid. So I'm just gonna start by adding the nitric acid to my system. As you can see, I got this all set up outside because this is definitely not a process you want to do inside, since it produces toxic gases. It's not the best thing to get in your lungs. I've got some hot water here. I'm just gonna add it's arbitrary. I just want to make sure everything is dissolved in the reaction flask. I'm going to start up the heating so that way we know that the potassium nitrate will be fully dissolved. Okay guys, so everything is all it's all in solution. It's all dissolved. So I'm going to add the sulfuric acid with this addition funnel. That way the reaction runs nice and smooth. Just make sure everything won't seep through. Okay, we're good. Whoopsie. So as you can see, I added a little bit too much, and some sulfuric acid went by the back. Nothing too alarming. It's just that there's going to be a lot of fumes created. But should all be fine. Keep in mind, you don't want to breathe this stuff in. This is definitely not something you want in your lungs. But everything's good. Add the stomper here. And so now I'm going to let the reaction calm down, and I'm going to start adding sulfuric acid by the drop. It's already doing it, so that's why I'm not adding more. And as you can see in the receiving flask here, it's all like orange and you can't see a thing. That's the nitrogen dioxide. And nitrogen dioxide is a gas that is produced from the nitric acid. This is a loss, but it's really minor, honestly. And yeah, so I'm gonna wait until the reaction calms down, and I'm gonna meet you back until I add more sulfuric acid. I'm just going to show you the reaction that's happening right now. So potassium nitrate reacts with sulfuric acid. Sorry, that's a plus, not a arrow, to make nitric acid. And this. Now, this normally you'd think, why doesn't this make, potassium sulfate? Well, potassium sulfate does, this reaction would work, but it's just that potassium sulfate isn't really water soluble. So when you try to clean out your flask from all the, salts that is left from the reaction, you're just left with a big hard clump that's just gonna be stuck in your reaction flask. And I've never had to deal with it because I've always made sure that I add enough sulfuric acid so this doesn't get consumed by the potassium nitrate to make more nitric acid. And I just make sure all the sulfuric acid is used and all the potassium nitrate is used at the same time. So that's why, as you can see, I'm probably I measured out 450 grams of sulfuric acid, so that's probably like a little bit overkill, but I make sure that it's overkill so that way, I have enough sulfuric acid to make it react with all the potassium nitrate. And also, you might have noticed my sulfuric acid isn't the purest. I use this to clean glassware and stuff, so it doesn't lose its potency or anything. It's just that it's a little bit less pure. Alrighty, and as you can see in our receiving flask, we're collecting a lot of distillate. So yeah, everything's going pretty smooth. I'm going to start adding the sulfuric acid by drop, and then it should drive the reaction forward. And what I want to do basically is synchronize the drop rate to the same thing of the receiving drop rate. So that way, you know, we have the same, well, around the same volume of reactants in the reaction flask. Oops, okay, we're good. Just gonna have to get it down a little bit. Alright guys, quick update. So I'm actually gonna, like, everything's going great except this one thing where it just keeps frothing over every like 15 seconds. Here, I'm gonna show you. As you can see, it almost, well, it does. It's just now I've got the heat turned off because I'm actually gonna separate this into 2 batches. So when the first batch is done, I'm just gonna add the second one and keep adding sulfuric acid. Because I don't want to ruin too much my final product. Even though I will distill this again, it's just that, you know, it's going way too slow. I can't add too much sulfuric acid because, here, I'll show you what it does. So, like, it makes all this gas, but as soon as it comes back up, you'll see what it does. Or there's just, oh no, there it goes. See? Poof. All over my thing. So yeah, I'm gonna do this in 2 different batches because I don't want to ruin too much my final product. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, so I got the setup all put in place again. And as you can see, I put the reaction flask into 2 separate batches, so that way it doesn't, you know, frost like crazy like earlier. So I'm gonna start adding the sulfuric acid again. There's a lot of red fumes, which looks really cool in my opinion, by the way. It's not every day you see red smoke. Distillation is finally finished. You know when it's finished when it starts making these weird fumes. That's the sulfuric acid getting dehydrated. So that's, you know, that's your end point. And over here we have a bunch of distillate, including this behind. You may notice it's a bit discolored and full of thing. That's because, you know, it kept frothing over. And because it kept frothing over, I actually had to make this into 3 different batches. So that's why, as you can probably see, it's a bit darker in the day. I started this project at like 12, I think, and it's currently 6:04. So yeah, this took a long while. I didn't use all my sulfuric acid, luckily. For some reason, you know, all the potassium nitrate reacted together, so I'm happy about that. I'm able to save a little bit. I am going to use it when I'm going to redistill this, because some material did, like, you know, froth over, so there's probably some potassium nitrate left in there. So when I'm going to redistill this, I'm going to add a little dab of sulfuric acid just to make sure everything is well and reacted. And so I'm gonna close this all up and put it somewhere safe. So next morning I'm gonna redistill the whole thing, and I'm gonna see you guys there.